conversation go with my friend. We're in this together.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Keep the Conversation Going. In this conversation, I chat with Danielle Chylinski, who is the Marketing and Promotions Manager for the Hartford Yard Goats. With the ballparks closed, Danielle and I chat about how social media has become the primary way for her to engage with their fan base. Danielle also highlights her new business, Chylinski Media, and how she's using it to help people who are not on social media make their way onto the platform. This is an exciting conversation, and you're not going to want to miss it. So, as always, let's get this conversation started. Hey Danielle, it's great to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you, and unfortunately, with the ballpark being closed so far this year, I haven't had a chance to come down and to check out a game and to catch up. So before we get started, just how you doing?
Yeah, great. The last time I saw you, we were outside on the green grass, and now here you are. You're basically in my apartment. So welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's very nice. So for those of you who may not recognize Danielle, she is a tremendous social media follow, and you might have recognized or seen her down at the ballpark for the Hartford Yard Goats. But for everybody who hasn't had a chance to meet you yet, Danielle, you want to just tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I live and breathe social media for as long as I can remember. Going back to college, I was always that go-to person for the clubs and their social media platforms or building posters or flyers. So really, I just love the impact and I see the influence that it has on people and on businesses. So right now, I'm the promotions and marketing manager in Hartford for the Hartford Yard Goats. And then that's my full-time job. And then on the side, since January of this year, I started my own company, Chylinski Media. So I've been doing that also while I've been home as well.
That's fantastic. Congratulations on the new company. That must be so exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting, and it's really interesting right now that I have time to build it, where before I thought that a lot of my time would be going towards the Hartford Yard Goats and the games. So now I have all this free time really just to work a lot.
So I know you're a social creature. When we first met, we had a great conversation. We talked at length and we covered all sorts of topics, including the value of communication, which we'll get to at the end of this conversation. But I have to ask how you're doing, right? So as somebody who loves to engage, not just on social media, but you love those face-to-face interactions. I see you at the ballpark. You have a lot of fun when you welcome your guests and people come in and it feels like you're welcoming them into your home. With the fact that the ballpark's been closed, with the fact that we've been in quarantine, how are you dealing with this? How are you coping with this? How have you been able to kind of shift some of those feelings, those sentiments, that joy that you get in terms of being around other people and now finding yourself relatively stuck at home?
Yeah, so I have learned that I talk out loud a lot. And a lot of my creative ideas come really from me talking out loud and being around people. So to be home has definitely been challenging. One of the things that's kept me going and kept me talking has been people that have reached out to me on LinkedIn asking to hop on a phone call, Zoom call, Google Hangout, Skype. And I've been able to just kind of rant and they rant and we talk about what we're both going through and how we can help each other. And that's really kept me going in terms of meeting new people, talking out loud, and getting those creative ideas out there.
Yeah, you're touching on such an important part of what has been lost. I mean, there's certainly a lot of things that have been challenges during this. But one of the things is those organic conversations, those ideas that come from being out and experiencing something and thinking about a way to make it better, or having that brilliant idea that comes from a conversation that was really just a catch up. So it's great to hear that you've been supplementing with that, but I'm sure all of us are really looking forward to getting back together. So with that, let's transition to what is probably the question that you have been asked far too often over the last several weeks, which is, when is the ballpark opening? But we know that there really isn't a great answer for that, right? I mean, we are waiting on data. We're waiting on our government officials to try to guide us in the right direction. So a more important question for you is probably, what have you been doing in place of heading down to the ballpark? And how have you, as a social media manager, stayed active and kept the Yard Goats in the public spotlight during this time?
So one of the words that I just keep using for this time for me right now is awkward, because I have no answers. You know, we're waiting for answers and everyone's coming to me, the face behind the Hartford Yard Goat social media, asking me the questions. I don't have answers, or the answer that they would want, which is let's play ball. I don't have those answers right now. So what we're doing is trying to redirect what we're posting on social to, here's what we do have, here's what we're doing based off of our situation right now, as opposed to when are we going to be back? What do you miss most? And that whole mentality. So we've been doing quizzes for kids so the parents can add that into their daily teaching plan. We've been doing polls, and I've been trying to get a lot more Hartford Yard Goat fans' faces out on our posts. So right, if you're seeing your face on our platform, and we have 30,000 plus followers, they're all seeing you. You feel like a movie star. I feel great because you're now sharing my post, and the reach and the engagement goes that much further because you're bringing that joy that we might not have been able to bring if this was during the season and I was crazy and didn't have a chance to do things like that. So it's definitely different, but I love what's happening in terms of social world right now.
It really is an exciting time for what you do and for what you're passionate about. I often look at minor league baseball and I think to myself, there are so many things that, in my personal opinion, that the major leagues could actually really find some inspiration from. One of the things that you do really well when the ballpark is open is you invite people in and you make them feel really special. So we have been coming down with our group and our association, the Hartford Gaelic Athletic Association, for Irish Night. And every time we come down, we feel like celebrities and we feel so cool, and it really makes the community feel so much smaller. I'm quite inspired by the fact that you have now found a way to take that sentiment and bring it into the social media world. I love this idea that you're bringing people and you're making them feel like they're a part of that story. What else have you been doing? What else have you been working on? What other ideas have you come up with? Or, what other ingenuity has this pandemic led to for you and for what you do?
So one of the things that we've been noticing, and I guess even going back to when we were at the ballpark, our target demographic really is everybody. So when we're creating content, we have so many different segmented pieces that are going out to a bunch of different people. So right now I have a lot more time to really dig deeper and figure out how can we tap into all of those different demographics. So right now, I don't want to spill any details of what we're working on, but we are working on a video that involves babies and like kids that are under 3 years old. So I've been going through our followers, looking at their pages and DMing them directly saying, hey, we're working on this video with kids. Here's kind of the requirement of what I need from you if you want to be a part of it. Send me this video back by this date, and then I'll send you the link once it's released. So being able to find those targets, reaching out directly to give people that special one-on-one touch that we would give at the ballpark, which we can't right now, letting them feel that value and seeing how we're taking the time, because one, it's helping me do my job, and two, it's helping them feel like they're a part of something bigger. So that's really what it's been for me, and it's been awesome to see the feedback and the smiles and the reactions to what myself and my team have been able to post and put out there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's so exciting. So, as we hopefully will return to normal sometime soon, and hopefully we will see the ballparks reopen. I mean, we are talking about unprecedented times, and I think as we are starting to pivot and many of our minds are starting to wander towards, well, when will we return? The question I have for you is, what have you learned along the way? So over the last several weeks, as you've had to shift, as you have become, creative in your approach to engaging with your fan base and with your demographic, even when the ballpark reopens, what will you take with you? What is something that is new that you really like or that you think will stick? And even as we return to the new normal, you will have this now as part of your repertoire.
Two things come to mind. The first one is blue light blockers. I recently ordered them online on Amazon, $20, super cheap. I clicked on the first one I found. Actually, I think I have them right here. Like, perfect, get the job done. And I've been wearing them every day, and I notice a huge difference. I don't get headaches. My eyes don't feel strained. I'm not ending the day stressed out and, overworked because my eyes had been staring at my screen. Last week, my phone shared with me on Sunday that my screen time was at 11 hours, estimated average per day, which is insane. And then this past Sunday, it's gotten back down to 9. But Blue Lockers, definitely number one that I'll continue to use. And the second thing is scheduling posts on social media. So when I first started with the Hartford Yard Goats back in January 2019, they never really scheduled much. We, as a team, really pride ourselves in being up with the times, up with what's going on that day at that time, as opposed to scheduling those typical cheesy organic posts that don't get as much reach. And with that, I've been able to now figure out how I can use scheduling to my advantage and still keep that same organic kind of content. So I've been scheduling daily. So right now for this morning, I have my few posts that are going out until I'm done around noon. So I've been using that, and that's been really helpful. So I'll definitely use that once I'm back in the office.
So that's great. So if you're watching right now, you're thinking, wow, Danielle has a lot of great tips in terms of, whether it's eye strain or just really taking advantage of the software that is out there. And that's what led to the formation and your new business venture, right? So Chylinski Media is really exciting, January
Yes.
2020. And if folks are watching right now, they might be thinking, so you're telling me that I can have the same woman who runs the Hartford Yard Goats social media engagement, she can actually come to my business and help me create the same kind of brand and followers and engagement. And that's exactly what you're doing. You want to tell us a little bit about what you've been working on? And I know that you and I chatted before this. You were really excited to share the reason, the passion, the why that you felt the need to do this.
For sure. And so I, for as long as I can remember, have always just gravitated towards people and their small businesses to help them leverage their platforms, whether it was starting a Facebook page, doing basic posts for them and things like that. So with this LLC that I started, I thought about it for a while now, but back in the off season of last year, I was like, I need to get back into this because this is really where my passion lies in terms of helping small businesses that pull the whole I'm too old, it's not in my generation, what's Facebook, all those kind of cliche comments that people make. And they're really just excuses. And at this point, with what's going on in our world, and even prior to this, you need to be on social media to keep your business afloat. So I started my company to help businesses get themselves on social media, do the basics, just so if people Google them, they pop up, right? As opposed to like, oh, I've never heard of them, I'll Google them. Oh, they actually don't exist at all, that type of thing. So that's what I've been doing, and keeping it super affordable, obviously, so I can profit a little bit. But my main goal really is, let me help you and show you why social media is so important and how it can help you as a person and also you as a business.
It's really interesting, right? Like you're almost serving as an ambassador to social media, especially for folks who are apprehensive. And it's not just necessarily people who aren't technologically savvy, but I think there's a lot of folks out there that may be apprehensive because they're not sure that they want to disclose, right? And if you own a business and you're not active on social media, this might serve as a way, as a conversation starter for you to think about, I can create a brand and that brand can be my persona. So I can keep my personal life and the things that are important to me, I can keep those close to me, but I can also allow the persona of my brand to go out there and to kind of have its own voice. Is that something that you think about when you sit down with a client or a customer? Is that something that, do you sit down and talk to them, or do you look at their brand? And just like the Yard Goats have their mascots and they have their brand and their style, are you able to kind of quickly kind of look at somebody or their business and think about what their brand might be?
Definitely. So for me, I've always kind of been building my personal brand on social without really realizing. And I'm sure that my friends that have been following me since I first got my Instagram and things like that are probably so relieved that I now have a business where I can post all my like nerd social media type posts on there and not so much on my social. So I even see that in myself where, let's make this just Danielle as a person, and let's move my business to the side so that I don't lose followers or friends because my business is annoying and blowing it up that way. So definitely, in terms of, for example, people that are hairstylists, usually their Instagram pages are just full of hair, right? So if you don't want to see hair all day, but you care about what your friend's doing with their boyfriend or their husband, you might, be on the edge of following or blocking them because all you see is hairstyles all day. So that's where I sit down and talk to them and say, hey, let's shift this here, and here's how it can, one, help your business, and again, two, help you as a person and keep your friends.
All right. So this has been an enlightening conversation. We've covered a wide range of topics, but as always, it comes back to communication. And you and I first met when we started talking about the value of communication right away. So I've been looking forward to asking you this question throughout the conversation. What does communication mean to you? And you're welcome to answer that question in any way that you'd like.
Whenever I hear the word communication, my brain goes back to college when I first changed my major to communication my sophomore year. And I was so excited because I went into school undecided. I had no idea what to do. I got really involved with different clubs and things like that to figure out what I wanted as a major. And I met with my career counselor, and she said, here's why you should switch to this. So when I changed to communication, and I was pumped to tell my friends or people I thought were my friends, their first reaction was, oh, why are you going to major in unemployment? And that sticks with me every day, all day, because, and I'm kind of laughing already, because as soon as I had my first job out of college, that I had a lot of skills due to my education because of my degree in communication. And that sticks with me every day. And it's something that I carry on my shoulders, and I carry proudly.
I love it. I think we connected on this the first time that we spoke, and my friends would know the same about me. I felt very proud about studying communication because it's so critical and pivotal to every element of our lives. There is not something that is not communicated in some way. And the ability to share that passion and also that skill with other people is to, as you said earlier, to watch them come to life, to help them uncover their greatness, to be able to tell their stories, to be able to share in the empathy and the sympathies of life with other people. It really is so incredible. And that's why I knew I was going to enjoy this conversation. We share our own passion and brand for value of communication. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for talking. We can talk all day. So
Yeah.
thanks for cutting me off.
No problem. So look, if you're not following Danielle and the Hartford Yard Goats on social media, they are a must follow. Check out the Chylinski media organization. Check out her follows there. Check out her personal follows. It's been a lot of fun to catch up. I really look forward to getting back down to the ballpark and having a night out and bringing the family down and having a chance to see you in person. But until then, stay safe, keep posting, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Danielle.
Go with my friend.